Shalom, and welcome to Qol Elohim. I am Brother Yakiel Israeli from Baltimore, Maryland, continuing our current topic, which asks the question, Ma Emet, what is truth? We took a look at Genesis 1:1, and that passage reads, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. When we take it from the English standpoint, we miss a lot. In the Hebrew, however, Bereshit bara, in the beginning created, having the understanding that Yah Avinu always existed. It was Yah Avinu who did the creating in that first verse. Bereshit bara, what did Yah create? Yah created Elohim, mighty ones. These mighty ones in John chapter 1 and verse 1 are referred to as the Word. And it states, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So referencing back Genesis 1:1, Bereshit bara, Elohim, or mighty ones, Aleph through Tav created the heavens, and Aleph through Tav created the earth, corresponding to what we also read in John chapter 1 and verse 2. By him were all things made, and there is nothing that was made that wasn't made by that word. So let's understand that. When you look at Genesis chapter 1 through, starting at verse 1, through Genesis chapter 2, verse 3, what you'll find is Elohim, mighty ones, doing this creating. Okay? When you get to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 4, however, the scripture reads, these are the births of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahweh Elohim made earth and heavens. Now we are introduced to the personal name of Elohim, which correctly define not God singular, but God's plural, or mighty ones. So let me read that. In the day that Yahweh, mighty ones, created the heaven and the earth. Does this Torah substantiate the plurality that is defined by Yahweh Elohim, or Yahweh mighty ones? Are there other examples that we can use? First example, let's go to Genesis chapter 19 verse 24. I'm going to read this in the Hebrew first. Then we're going to read it in the English. It says, Where Yahweh Himtir El Sedom, we Al Amora, Ga'afrit, Wa'ish, Me'et Yahweh Min Hashemayim. Okay, now how that has been translated in the English, Genesis 19:24, and Yahweh rained sulfur and fire on Sodom and Amorah from Yahweh out of the heavens. Now, I want to pinpoint certain things in the Hebrew, and my Hebrew brothers and sisters out there, and what I mean by Hebrew brothers and sisters, those who are familiar with the language. Look at this verse in the Hebrew language. When it says, and Yahweh, the term Wa Yahweh, is the Waw connected to the Yod, He, Waw, He. Rain, sulfur, and fire on Sodom and Amorah. Now here's the part. When it says from Yahweh in the English, in the Hebrew it says Me'et. You have the Mem, which is another term, like we were dealing with the prefix letters, similar to the Bet and the He and the Waw. Whenever the Mem is used as a prefix on a word, it implies from. So it says Me'et. Mem, Aleph, Tav. From Aleph through Tav. From the word Yahweh. Min Hashemayim, out of the heavens. Question. Brothers and sisters, why did the Most High inspire it to be written as if you had two Yahwehs? Help me out here, brothers and sisters. Help me to better understand this. And Yahweh rained sulfur and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah from Yahweh out of the heavens. Now the Yahweh that was on earth, if you read in Genesis chapter 18, it talked about these three men who approached Abraham. Two of the men left. These two angels are the same angels that went down to Sodom and Gomorrah, and they took Lot and his family out. It said that one of the men stayed, and this one that stayed was Yahweh. But then it says that Yahweh, who left Abram after Abraham made intercession, rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah from Yahweh. We need explanation, brothers and sisters. But let's move on. I'm not going to stay on that too much longer. Let's go to Psalms chapter 45 now. We're going to look at verses 6 and 7. I'm going to read, starting at verse 6. Your throne, Elohim, mighty ones, is forever and ever. The scepter of your reign is a scepter of straightness. You have loved righteousness and hated wrongness. Therefore, Elohim, mighty ones, Elohecha. Now, Elohecha in the Hebrew language means your mighty one. Listen to this. Therefore, mighty ones, plural, your mighty one. Think about that. Who is mighty one to Elohim? This is from the Psalms, before you get into Christian doctrine. But I tell you what we can find. We're going to find that this verse was used to explain something later on in another book, the book of Hebrews. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 1 and see how the word itself expounds on this very same passage. Verse 7. And of the angels indeed, he says. And what's happening here, the writer of Hebrews, he's making a comparison at this particular time with the Son and the angels. And of the angels indeed, he said, who is making his messengers spirits and his servants a flame of fire. But to the Son, he says, listen to that. But to the Son, he says, your throne, O Elohim, is forever and ever. A scepter of straightness is the scepter of your reign. You have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness. Because of this, Elohim, again, because of this, mighty ones, your mighty one, Elohecha, has anointed you with the oil of gladness more than your companions. He said this to the Son. Does this imply that Yah Avinu, speaking to the Son, which is Elohim, more correctly, Yahweh Elohim, the Word. Now, I didn't finish in John 1:1 when it says in the beginning with the Word was with God, the Word was God, all things were made by the Word, and nothing was made without the Word. You go down a few more verses, it said, and the Word became flesh. What are you going to do with that, brothers and sisters? I'm just reading scriptures to you. I'm not interpreting. I'm reading and putting different thoughts together in the scripture, leaving the scriptures in its original context. What do we do with that, brothers and sisters? Brother Yakir El, bidding all of you shalom until next time.